Hello and welcome. My name is David DuPaul and I'm from Toronto, Canada. Today I'm going to share with you some techniques in styling which will hopefully really energize you and take this back to the salon to use them with your clients and really have some fun with them. As you can see, we have a beautiful model right here that has some gorgeous color, but look at the texture and the wave that we have in this hair. We're going to share with you how to do this in just a second, but this is one of the looks that we're going to present for you today. Another look that we have today is also this very, very soft kind of undulating kind of beach style curl. And we actually use two techniques to get this. One using an old-fashioned bendy rod that we used to use for perming, or texturizing hair as we now call it. And we also use a knot set technique, which I've been using for years, which is a great technique to use just to create a very, very soft look. And we'll show you how to do that in just a second as well. Our other look is using a very traditional item called a curling iron. And this whole look was done with barrel curls. And again, I'm going to explain to you and share with you the technique to get this look looking just the way it is and have some fun with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a lovely model right here that has very straight hair. And all of these mannequins actually have straight hair, and they've all been done on dry hair as well. None of these are wet sets. They're all done with dry techniques. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do our soft wave, which is this model right here. And as I said to you, we used two different techniques to create this look, and we'll go through those right now with you. I like to have a lot of different techniques in the salon when I'm doing hair, especially for longer hair, because we tend to get stale and we kind of revert back to the same things. So by having different techniques in your repertoire, it allows us to stay creative and really keep our customers and our clients interested in what we're doing, and it keeps them in the salon, keeping us making a little bit more money as well. So I'm going to use a really great product that I've been using for a long time. It's an Old Faithful called Thermal Active Setting Spray from Biolage. And what I like about this product is it allows me to work with the hair, and once I've got the whole thing set, I can stick the client under the dryer and we get a great style and a great hold to the set. We're going to start with a section of hair like so. We're then going to take one of our rods and we're going to work from about 2/3 of the way down the hair. Wrap around, but what we're going to do is we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to wrap in different directions, and as we're doing this, we're going to curl and wrap as we go through, bend this right over, and lock that right in place. We'll then take another section of hair, already has the Thermal Active Setting Spray in it, so we don't have to add any more. Then I'll take a different sized bendy rod, again about 2/3 of the way down, wrap around in a different technique, work through like so, and every once in a while change the direction in which you wrap it. So it's going to give you a very, very different curl formation and not your typical crokinole curl that we're used to. So we would do an entire row of just these types of curl. The next row, what we would do is we'd change it up. We use the same product, the Thermal Active Setting Spray, and we'll put a little bit of product on there. I always like to comb it through just to make sure I get even saturation of product, like so. I'll then take a section of hair like this. Now what I'm going to do is I use a knotting technique. And how I do this is I take two fingers. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to use my left hand to do this. And I'm going to come around, twist like so, and I'm going to create a series of slip knots, just like this. Also known as a crochet stitch, or in boating terms, a boater's knot, slip knot. We do another section exactly the same way, twist around, and we pull through, creating that slip knot. What's really important is this end right here, that it does not get pulled through. And I'm going to show you why in just a second, but we want to pin this right on base, and as you can see, we don't want to flatten these curls down too much, okay? So what we would do is once we have an entire head of this done, we would pop your client under the dryer for about 20 minutes. That's all it would need, because we're working on dry hair. It'll give the thermal active setting spray a chance to activate, as in its name, thermal activated. And then we would take her out, allow it to cool, and then once it's cooled, we would remove the knots and the rods. So I'm going to show you why you don't want to remove, or you don't want to pull that end through. As you can see, the end is sticking right here. What we can do now is if we tug on that end, that pulls straight out. And there's no knotting of the hair. So you don't have to undo a knot. It just pulls straight out. Now, once it's had a chance to set, it will also have curl to it as well. So we don't have to worry about this. In this case, we haven't had a chance to set, so there isn't any curl. So that's the first technique. There's actually two techniques to create the first look, which is our soft kind of beach style wave and get a nice disheveled look. The next look we're going to work on is going to be this lovely lady. And as you can see, this curl is a little firmer, a little more disheveled, but a lot more curl formation to it. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're actually going to create a look using some pins, some hairpins. And the hairpins are a great tool to use. And once again, I put a little twist to them. I don't do them in a traditional manner. And we're using hairpins, not bobby pins. Once again, I'm working on dry hair with this technique, using my thermal active setting spray, and put a light mist of that in through the hair. And in this case, a lot of times I will take triangular sections with this technique, and it gives me a little bit nicer fall in the parties. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hairpin like so. I'm going to make sure the ends of the hairpin are nice and wide, just like that, not too narrow. I'm going to start about closer to the root versus the rod where we started about 2/3. We're going to go a little closer to the root, and we're going to wrap around. But what we're going to do is every once in a while do a figure of 8 right throughout in here. And as you can see right now, the ends of the pin are sticking up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, bring it up upon itself, and push it so that the ends are straight down. We're going to take another section of hair. Already has some thermal active on it, so we don't have to add any more. We're going to take our hairpin like so, put it on either side of the hair, and wrap around. Now, what also is important here is that you don't pull this too tight, because if you pull it too tight, the ends of the pin will go together. So you want to keep it fairly loose. Once again, figure of 8 every once in a while, wrap around, and then bring it up on itself so then the ends are going straight down. Okay? We'll do one more of those. This is a really fun technique, actually. I use it a lot in the salon. It's a great technique to use with ladies with super fine hair because it gives them a ton of texture, a ton of body, and it makes it look like they have a lot more hair. So we know that when ladies come in with super fine hair, that's the best thing you can do for them, to make them look like they have a lot more hair. So if you have somebody with fine hair, great technique. What I wanted to show you here also is the fact that you can see the top is quite flat. So these curls are put on base, whereas on the top here, what I've done is I've over-directed and I've gone way off base and put the actual pins further down. So it gives me that flat on top and then the curl all through the bottom. So we built the curl up on the sides, but left the top flat. So as we would work up in a case like this, we would just keep dragging these pins down so we get this flat surface, and that's how we created this look. Now our third look, fourth technique, is this one here. And we're going to use our curling iron to do that. I'll make sure my curling iron's on. Yeah, okay. And this is using simple barrel curl actually. I'm going to change up the product that I'm using. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to create a series of barrel curls. We're going to take a section of hair, like so. And again, depending on the thickness or thinness of the hair, will determine how much hair we take. I'm now going to switch up the product that we're using. From Stylink, I'm going to use Heat Buffer. And the beautiful thing about the Heat Buffer is, A, it gives the hair a little bit of moisture, so that when we put the curling iron to it, it will get a great curl to it, as well as a little bit, a pretty decent hold when we're working it this way. The other thing that it does though, when we're working with our high fashion colors, it really protects the hair and the hair color from our nasty fading if we put really hot irons on high fashion colors. And we've probably all seen that at one point. And all of a sudden our color disappears on us because we've decided to put a flat iron or a curling iron on it. But by using the Heat Buffer, you get a lot more protection in there and you get to keep your color. All that hard work that you've done. We'll do one more like that. As you can see, what I did is I held the curl in place and then just put a pin in there. These are done horizontally to create our look. We'll take a little bit more of the Heat Buffer from Stylink, like so. As I mentioned earlier, I always like to give a little bit of a comb to get the product saturated evenly. We're going to put our styling wand right inside, work it through, and hold it there for a little bit, and then just out there. I've got this iron at about 420. And just in place there, we're going to take a single prong clip, kind of right on base or just slightly off base. We'll do an entire head just like that. Now, important thing here, like I said to you before on the other looks, make sure this cools completely. Once this is cooled off, you can take the pins out, because once it cools, then you're locking the set in and you can do whatever you want to this hair. So the last look, as I said, is our beautiful, oops, there we go, our beautiful look right here. And once it's styled, you get great style memory, and you can do whatever you want to this hair. You can start to play around with it, and you will never lose this curl. Okay? Think of a souffle when you're cooking. If you do things all in the right step, the souffle is beautiful. It's the most amazing thing in the world. Hair is the same way. If you do all the right steps properly, you heat the hair up, you set it, and you let it hold and then cool, the hair will stay in place and it will keep its look and it'll be gorgeous. So, 3 different looks. We have our very soft undulating wave, which was 2 techniques. We have our beautiful pin curl sets, okay, done with our hairpins. And we have our curling iron set, which is done in here using thermal active setting spray and our Heat Buffer from Stylink. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I hope we'll see you again on one of these videos. Have a great day. Thank you.